Now that you know the basics of N8N, how to use AI agents, simple nodes, etc., etc., how would you use this to create an automation for your business? In today's video, I will be showing you the steps and also a simple example of how you would automate your business using N8N. The example I will be giving is a reservation and ordering system for a restaurant through Gmail. I will be explaining what each node does so that you could recreate it if you want. So the Gmail trigger is simple enough. Every time, every this increment, so this is a C1 cron expression, and it says that every 5 minutes the the Gmail trigger will run to check for new Gmails. Now, the output of the Gmail will be put into a text classifier which uses a LLM to distinguish what category of text it is. So it gives the title and the body to the LLM, and the LLM decides if it's a business email, and if it is, it decides to label the email with business. If it's a personal email, it will label the email with personal, and if it's an order slash reservation, it will send it off to this AI agent, which is running Gemini 2.5 Pro. It's important to use a smart model for something like this, as smaller models can easily get confused. So I would usually recommend the latest, something like GPT-5 or Gemini 3 Pro works great, or a simple GPT-01 could also work. Now, I gave the AI a prompt. The prompt is really important in this case, as it could make or break your system, as a confusing prompt could make the AI behave inconsistently and make the experience for customers worse. I will be pasting the prompt into the in the description so that you could check it out, how it's structured and how it and so you could recreate something like that. The important thing to remember is the uh TCREI, which is the Google prompting guide, which says task, which includes persona, if possible. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Context, so give it the context. It's a restaurant. This has to happen. This has to happen. Uh, Reference, which is an example. Uh, which is evaluate, which means give the AI a way to evaluate its output. And then I iterate, so do it all again if the prompt is unsatisfactory. Now, it's generally advised to add a fallback model just in case, but for demonstration purposes, I won't be using that. Then this is a get row, so it get rows in a sheet, so it gets all the rows in a specific sheet in documents. So in this specific sheet tutorial, orders and reservations, it can get this data so that it can check if the reservation is open or not. Then adds a row to the sheet, so adds a reservation. You tell the model to define the time, which is the time, so example, 12 p.m. When the reservation is set for, the date, the table number, so I gave it a list of table numbers, the amount of people, and the time set, so it's the time the reservation was set. Then we have the orders, which the order is given and the time is given when the order was made, and then the Gmail client, which sends email to the client and then waits for the client to respond, and it takes in the parameters of email, subject, and body. So the email is sent, the subject of the email, and the message inside of the email. It sends the email, then it sets the time and iterate, so that so the iterate what the iterate does is it makes it so that the loop can only happen a certain amount of times. If the loop happens more than that certain amount of times, then the loop will exit and return null. So the AI will know that that the person didn't want to respond or something like that. Now it gets the messages after the time set in the previous node. So it gets all the messages. It adds an iterate to the number. It add one to the number iterate. Then if if the if node, it gets the message from. So if the message from is equal to the email, if the email is equal to the email which was sent at the beginning, then it executes this two slashes mean or. So or the iterate is more than 40. So if this loop happens more than 40 times, it would exit and just continue on. The edit fields, you just add the values you want to return back to the AI, and that's the loop. That's the basics of the loop. So now if I send the email and wait for the email to appear here, just wait a second. There we go. And if I run this workflow now, you would see it classifies it as a text. It then runs the LLM. The LLM then requests more information, which, here we go. I can help you with that. What date would you like to book the reservation and how many people in your party? So, tomorrow and 2 people. Now, if I send that, you'll see after a little while, uh, the the loop is set for 1 minute, so it waits a minute before checking again. So it might take a while. Uh, da, 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 da. Da- da-dum, da-dum. So, and the appended data, and there it gathered the information, it sent it back to the model, and then it gets the current reservation data, then it sets the data for the it just sets the reservation inside the sheet, and there you have it. Thank you for watching.